from Imperial Tropicals here on another fun Friday. Hope everybody's doing good. It's been like brutally hot here in Florida, so we've been doing everything we can to shed the heat. Right now, everything's good inside the warehouse. We got all the big fans going, but I hope you guys are staying hydrated out there because I think you guys are getting that Florida heat all over the country right now. Um, but the good thing about it, all these tropical fish, they like the heat. So we've been getting a lot of production. A lot of the South American, the African cichlids are breeding very well. That's just the price we pay to breed tropical fish is that we have to deal with the heat. So I know it's been a couple weeks since we went live. We had a big event, not last Saturday, the Saturday before for the Tampa Bay Aquarium Society. It turned out great. We had, I don't know how many people exactly. There was probably at least 100, 150 people that came out for the event, and it was just a fantastic time. We had a really, really enjoyable time meeting a lot of new people and getting to see a lot of old friends. We liked it so much that in the future we're going to probably have another one, and we'll have like a Saturday open house to where we can have people come out, talk to them about fish, answer questions about the fish, and then also they can purchase fish while they're here. So it's you know, we're going to make some changes, but I think in the future we will have another one. It probably won't be anytime soon, but maybe in a few months, towards the end of summer, we could plan another one for people to come out and visit our location. It seems like COVID is, I say getting better. I mean, it's still out there, but we're not seeing as many people in our area with it. And then the people that are getting it, they don't seem to be staying sick as long or as bad. Let's just hope that, it gets better and, people don't get it as sick from it as they had in the past. So, and these gas prices and the high cost of everything, I mean, it's been tough. The whole country's like stressed out right now. That's the great thing about the fish is that's where we kind of, find our relaxation and our peace is with our pets, and it's been just great, escape for us, to be able to work with these fish. And a lot of our customers that we talk to, they're just, that's what's keeping everybody's sanity right now. That's a fish keeper is, being able to take care of their fish and relax sitting in front of the tank. And speaking about relaxation, we finally got our big tanks up, and I tell you what, we have really, really enjoyed having these tanks. Oh no, this won't work. I got my camera switched around the wrong way, so we're going to have to show it to you like this. But we finally got our big tanks up, and I cannot see exactly. So I'm having to charge my phone while I do this, and it's blocking the camera because I have to have it charged up. These are the tanks that our good friend Mario built for us, and they are spectacular. A lot of times in the evening, I'm just coming over here, pulling up a chair, and sitting in the front of the tank and, just enjoying it. So this tank has about 300 Cardinal Tetras in it, and it also has, I think, 23 of the C49 Black Diamond Cories. It's my favorite tank of all three of them. But these tanks are just as special because we set up a breeding tank for our peacock bass. And you can see those guys are looking really, really nice. And right now we have 2 males and 1 female inside the tank. And we have, I think it's 5 of the Geophagus savannae right here. And those guys are looking really, really nice. In fact, the Geophagus savannae have bred in the tank twice already. But the they keep eating the eggs, and it could be even the Hypostomus luteus that you see in the picture um, at night going over there and eating the eggs. So that is a really, really nice tank. And then we have our most special fish of them all, the gold gar. So I haven't really, showed a lot of pictures and videos of this fish, just because we've been working on, creating the gold gar, breeding them. So the offspring, I should say offspring, the standard gar that you see in there, there's 5 of them total in the tank. Those are the babies of the gold gar. So you can see the father right there in the tank, and the other gar in there that are standard looking are his babies. So for those that, understand, genetics and breeding, know that the offspring are carrying the gold gar genes. So as they mature and we're able to breed them, we should be able to get some gold gar babies. So we are super excited about that. And while I'm doing that, I think my phone's charged up enough, so you're going to see the camera get kind of wonky, because I'm going to take it out of this gimbal and flip it around. So that way you guys don't have to keep looking at the rear camera. So let me set this down. It's going to get a little shaky. And then we're going to power the gimbal off. And like I said, don't get a headache, but we're going to flip this camera around. Oh, it's locked. Okay, so let me do this. All right, I'm just going to have to hold it for the rest of the show, because once I started it, it will not let me rotate it the other direction. So it's going to be a little shaky, but I'll try to hold it steady, so you guys can see the gold gar, and not with just the rear camera. But he is looking really nice. So the top one there, I believe, is a female. They're very hard to sex, but judging on the body shape, size, I do believe that we have one female of the standard and 4 males. And I see Mario just comment. So Mario, what do you think about your artwork? So Mario is the builder of these tanks, and I do plan on doing lots and lots of pictures and videos of these tanks in the future for some of the breeding projects that we're going to have in them. And I can't speak highly enough of the craftsmanship that Mario has. He has truly got a special talent for building dream tanks. So if you are in a position to have a dream tank built, I would definitely recommend contacting Mario. And it was just amazing to watch him work and get this thing built. So in here we got the 2 male. These are the Ocellaris peacock bass, and we got 2 males and 2 females. We are going to be adding another female to this tank. We got another one of the big Hypostomus luteus. We got 5 of the Geophagus savannah. And I was just talking to my brother who's in town, and I was telling him about how these Geophagus savannah are just so incredibly popular with the fish aquarium hobby, because they don't get like ginormous, so they will be able to fit in most standard size tanks, and they're not like crazy aggressive. Now I wouldn't keep them with like Cardinal Tetras or anything, but they are really, really nice. Like the Weimilleri is very nice, but our breeders on the Weimilleri, they're about 3 times this size. They're huge. So the fact that the Savannah does not get like ginormous, and but we're super excited about that. The Cardinal Tank down here is just going to be for relaxation and pleasure. It's just great. You can see some of the cories. They like hiding underneath the rocks. But as we bring in like, new and rare and unique South American fish, we're probably going to add some Epistogramma species to this tank, some different Autocinclus, lots of different L numbers. So we're super excited about the future of that tank. And, I just really, really enjoying the tank. So thank you again, Mario. All right. Now, since I don't have my gimbal, it's going to be very, very shaky. And in fact, I'm not even seeing comments. They're not even showing up on my screen. So I'm going to try to get some of the comments. I just pulled it up. I'm just going to hold it in front of the tank while I answer some of these so you guys aren't just like looking at me. This is some of the reds or yellow saffron, and there's a couple that are what we're going to call red saffrons. You can see him in the back right there. He's not showing any dominance coloration because he's not the dominant one in the tank, but these peacocks have been incredibly popular for people that keep all male peacock because it is a really nice fish that, a lot of your Alanacara species have always a lot of blue in them, so having a solid yellow one like that is really makes for a nice looking tank. So some of the comments, Jerry from Iowa, what's up? I know Iowa's probably finally getting their summertime, temperatures also. I'm gonna hold this on the Azurius tank. You see in this tank, there's 2 males that are, showing like really good dominance, and then you got 2 of them that are not. So if you do keep some of the Copochromis species, those guys are very timid. So if they're not feeling dominant, they will look like a female. So, all right, back to some of the questions. Zachary Ferris says, happy Friday. That's great to hear. There may be more tours in the future. The recent one landed on my girlfriend's birthday weekend, so I couldn't make it. Hey, that was a good decision because she probably wouldn't have been too happy if you surprised her for her birthday by bringing out here to look at fish. So James Smith from Ohio, what's up, James? Good to see you, man. I hope to make it to the OCA this year, so hopefully you're able to make the drive up, and it'd be good to see you. It seems like it's been forever since we've seen each other, and since COVID, it shut down a lot of the traveling for us. So John Mayberry, happy Friday to you from Frostproof. All right, John, I know you're local to us, so that's great. Chris, the Mad Aquarius Biggs. Oh man, Biggs, I do apologize. I do need to get back with you. Biggs is actually coming to Florida, and he is a dear friend that I am looking forward to seeing him, I think, in a couple weeks. So I need to get with you this afternoon, Biggs. You text me when I was on this, I think it was last Sunday, and Cole was in the middle of a fishing tournament, and it took me like 3 or 4 days just to recover, and I'm still way behind on text messages and emails. So Jerry Collins, that's right, this weekend is Father's Day, so I hope all the fathers out there have a great Father's Day weekend. I know I'm gonna be spending it with the family this weekend, so looking forward to that. I'll keep it on the Yellow Blaze tank right now. David says, hey Mike, beautiful tanks. I appreciate it, David. And I was just showing off David's, I know he loves the Azurius. He's got a breeding group up there in his tanks, and he's been very helpful in the Facebook group, helping new fish keepers, set up their tanks and compatibility. I mean, that seems to be like a common theme, is that a lot of people in the fish hobby do not understand, the compatibility of these fish, and we answer, I don't even want to guess how many emails a day and a week, trying to help people, and, like, hey, I got this fish in my tank, and they, when you email us, go ahead and tell us what size your tank is and the size of the fish that you have, because all that makes a difference. But what's been great is a lot of people are going to the Facebook group and they're getting the answers from the group, which is like what we created the group for, was that people could join and either get information or share information. You know, it's been huge. So I appreciate everybody in the Facebook group that is helping these new, fish keepers, or not necessarily new fish keepers, but maybe they're new to keeping a certain type of fish. I mean, gone are the days where you mix South American fish with African fish, or tetras with high aggressive fish, Oscars and guppies. I think people are starting to learn, hey, you know what? It's a lot funner to keep a tank where my fish aren't getting, beat up or killed by each other. And, so thank you for everybody in the group that is helping people learn more about how to best keep these fish. Because we find it very, very important that if people are going to, go to the trouble to set up a tank and get it all set up, you might as well do it right, so you have more enjoyment out of your tank. Those are triple red apistogrammas, cockatooids, triple red cockatooids. So those guys are going to be up for sale, I hope, today. So the last couple weeks we have been building a inventory system, so it'll be easier for us to keep track and also keep the website updated. This is the electric blue Jack Dempsey's, and it looks like there's only a few of those left. In fact, I think the website says that it's 0 because we had, I think, 50 or 60 of them go out in the last 2 weeks, and I wanted to make sure that everybody that wanted them got theirs safely, and then I'm going to post these guys back up. Sorry about that. I got a notification that my phone was 20% battery life, so I think I'm good there for a little bit longer. So this past week I had a hobbyist ask about, their pH is like 8.2 coming out of their tap, and they noticed on a South American fish that they were not doing that great. And a lot of people do not like RO units, and I understand why, because RO units typically waste, like, it takes 3 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of RO. And then some people are actually go and they buy RO water, which, man, that gets costly just doing that. So I explained to him our process for making soft water, and I'm just going to real quickly go over it. So this is 3 600-gallon tanks of water that is getting conditioned to do water changes. Okay, so you will not need to make up 600 gallons of water unless you've got a bunch of tanks. But we're basically got a pump that's high efficiency pump that is pumping the water through the 3 tubs, like it's all getting pumped back into this one. We've got some filter floss. We've got some sponge filters that are in there to catch, help filter the water, clear it up, polish the water, and then we add phosphoric acid, all right, to the water, and we have like a recipe amount. We know exactly how much phosphoric to add to 600 gallons to make the pH go to 6.8. So not that I want, people to start handling acid, but that is safe, to use as long as you don't get it all over yourself. And it's, it could be bought over the counter at, I believe you could buy it online. You could also buy it from a hardware store. But maybe one day I'll do a video just dedicated to show people how to make soft water, with the low pH. But, when we started doing this, and for the wild caught fish, the apistogrammas, even though a lot of them could handle the high pH with no problem, like here's some of the Pac-Man apistogrammas, they can handle the high pH, but they weren't happy. And since we started doing this, I don't know, 6 months ago, we really made an effort to, keep the water, softer, because we started bringing in more wild caught fish. The fish are just so much happier. In fact, a lot of fish are breeding in these selling tanks, the soft water fish. So it's been, you know, that's a sign right there that, hey, you know, they are really liking that you know, 6.8 pH. So it's fairly easy to do. You don't waste any water like you do with the RO units. Now you do need to mix it up, your water, before you pump it into the tank, or because you don't want to be, you know, putting the phosphoric acid. Some people use muriatic acid too, but phosphoric seems to be more stable in keeping the pH a certain, you know, pH. So you know, so if you get any questions, shoot me an email. And like I said, one day I might, you know, be able to have time to go ahead and do a video dedicated just you know, the best way to make up soft water, you know, because when you replicate the water that these fish live in nature, good things happen. The fish will be way more colorful. In fact, we got one customer that actually left us a negative review on our website for the Pac-Man epistogrammas, all right, and the D12s, which are these guys. And you know, he sent us a picture. First of all, the picture, you couldn't hardly, such a bad picture, you couldn't hardly see the fish, but I could tell in the picture that the fish was very, very stressed. And I'm like, man, I mean, you know, your water conditions look really, really bad. Because he was like, well, it doesn't look like your picture. And I'm like, well, that's because your fish isn't happy. You gotta, you know, create the proper environment for your fish, for them to be happy. And when you do, the colors come out. You know, a lot of these fish, especially on a lot of these wild type epistogramma species, they do not show good color unless they're in breeding conditions. And you know, you've got to provide them with that nice environment to get them in that breeding conditions. And once they are in that breeding conditions, they usually keep that color. You know, they don't, like, for the most part, just turn it way off and then turn it way on. If anything, they'll be like spectacular when they're in that breeding activity. And then even when, you know, they already have the babies or go through their dancing ritual for mating, they still look very, very nice. So we got some albino redhead Tapahos. These are super rare to the U.S. hobby. This is the first time I've had them in, and the guy that has the strain over in Indonesia is very proud of these fish because nobody else has them. So they are very, very expensive, but we're going to be putting some of those albino redhead Tapahos up. And I also saved some back for breeding. So in the future, we will have our own line of albino redhead Tapahos. So, you know, that's why these guys that breed a new fish, they get a primo for it because they're the only one that has it. And then because they know that once they start selling them and they get out into the hobby, that other people are going to breed them. So, you know, anytime that there's a new fish, like these are the Cali Tawa rainbow fish, all right? This is also a new rainbow fish. See the males just starting to color up very nicely. We are super excited. That's another new rainbow fish that we're going to be breeding. Here's the Melontinia Morossi, and this is another new rainbow fish. So these will not be up for sale because we are going to be breeding them. So you'll see, you know, maybe in the future, once we get them going, for sale, I hope. So here is some red Cockatooids. This is actually a wild pair. You can see the female sitting there guarding, and I don't know how well you can see them on the camera, but there's lots and lots of little babies, and right now they're feeding on some live foods that we put in the tank. So we actually have the pair that we put back here behind it so they wouldn't eat the other pair's babies, but even the female's pushing the male away, which is really cool. So you know, that's a good sign that these fish are real happy in this soft water system that we created. And that's it. I'm holding this camera with my hands, so it's a little bit shaky. I didn't get to answer all these questions. In fact, let me come over here and sit down. So uh, I'm a I hate shaky cameras, so like that's why I use that gimbal because it's really shaky. So I'm going to flip the camera around and keep it on these tanks, and I'm gonna answer the rest of these questions for you guys. All right. All right. So, all right, I'm catching up. Lynn Chapman. Lynn, I am so sorry. Holly told me it was your birthday yesterday, and she's like, you need to go on the group and wish her a happy birthday. And I am, I actually avoid Facebook these days. Try not to get on it just because I've got so many different things going on that, I really don't do social media very well. And so I'm wishing you a late happy birthday. I hope yesterday was a wonderful birthday, and I also hope that your birthday continues on through today and a birthday weekend. So happy birthday, Len. I appreciate all that you do for us here at Imperial Tropicals and helping all the fish keepers out there. You're one of the first ones to always comment and help people. So thank you. All right. All right. David is saying he's working on a predator hap tank. Really excited about it. Will be a nice change of pace from my other tanks, which are breeding. Yes, the predator haps are, on a whole nother level. First of all, already you need a much bigger tank, but when they color up, I mean, they are stunning. So I really love the predator haps, and you're going to see a lot more predator hap types. I think in the email I told you I've got a friend of mine that breeds a lot of predator haps that we're bringing in a shipment today from him. They're on their way up from Miami, so you're going to see those go up on the website possibly Monday. I usually like to give them, even though they're bred in Florida, I like to give them a couple days before we start shipping them out. If they were imported in, which I never would import those from, unless they're wild caught or something, because Florida's got the best African cichlids, that are farm raised. This is a friend of mine that's got a farm that he breeds a lot of really nice Malawis and Tanganyikans. So you're going to see a lot of new Tanganyikans go up on the website next week also. That's where you eventually will end up, David, is with the Tanganyikan tank. So they're, I see so many people that they start off with the Malawis, and then, the nice thing about the Tanganyikans is that they don't have that high aggression, and you get just spectacular colors, and you could do community tanks with a lot of Tanganyikans. So, all right, let me get through these messages. Mario, it was a pleasure working with you, so thank you again. Chris says gar sexy time. Yes, what's crazy, Chris, is I will never ever, no matter what country I go to, I don't think I'll ever catch a fish that rare. And the fact that, the gold gar was caught by somebody that knows how to breed them and that we had success breeding them makes it even more special, because the few gold gar that are in captivity are usually in show tanks, big show tanks that, the people that have them have no interest in breeding them. They just keep them to look at. And so it's going to be exciting to have gold gar babies one day. So, Andrea, good morning. John Mayberry says, Mike, thanks for letting us all come into your facility. I appreciate that, John. And like I said, in the future, we're going to do it again because we really enjoyed it. We liked having everybody out here, and I think we learned a lot on, things that we could improve on to make the process even smoother. So it's going to be very exciting in the future going forward with it. Chevy Fish, Master Aquatics. Mauricio from Mexico, another fun Friday, yes. Mr. Colopsia is asking about rosy barbs. So, I don't know if there's any rosy barbs being bred locally. That used to be like a staple fish for being bred by some of the producers here in Florida, but I think most of them had stopped breeding them because, the big, wholesalers were not paying them a fair price for the fish. So a lot of them stopped breeding the rosy barbs. But I'll reach out if you want to email us. We will put you on a list that we're keeping for requests for fish, and I'm sure if I'm knowing that you want some, and I'm looking at that list, that it is a good chance that we will have some rosy barbs again if I know that there's a demand for them and that people want them. So. Uh, all right, so March 66. Hello, Master Aquatics. Just call me Eduardo. Mike Francis. Hey, Mike. Does anyone there can answer a question about fish dying problem? I have one of my tanks. I've tried all sorts of medicine and nothing works. So, Mike Francis, if you are not on the Facebook group, definitely join the Facebook group. They, could help you diagnose your issue. And, you know, I know in some of the private Facebook groups, you get people that, you know, just say ridiculous things, and that doesn't happen in our group. So join the group, and if you're not already in it, post up. When you do, go ahead and post up a picture of your tank and like a breakdown of your tank and a picture of the issue. And if I'm on Facebook later today and you make a post about it, I will try to give you some advice. But you know, typically most fish health issues, as far as sickness and disease, is water quality related, that are stress related, I should say, not necessarily just water quality, but the fish is stressed. It weakens their immune system, makes them more prone for parasites and bacteria issues. So, post up in the group, a breakdown of the issue that you're having, and then we'll get you taken care of, because, there's nothing that's more frustrating than dealing with sick fish and not knowing, how to get them better. So, GM Walker is saying, let's hit that like button. Yes, thank you, Walker. I appreciate that. So that lets us know that you guys like seeing our fish and hanging out with us, So, Ali Sean, I haven't forgot about your Asian rummy nose. So we haven't sold any of them, but we had to move them out of the warehouse here. The water temp has gotten up to like 82 degrees inside this warehouse, which for 90% of the fish in here is perfectly fine. But some of the cooler water fish, we've had to move out and put them in rooms that are cooler. So we did that with the Asian rummy nose. So once they are healthy and we're able to see, how many females we have, we're going to get you some of the Asian rummy nose. So Master Aquatics asking about vampire lyratel swords. They're sort of like the red velvet with red eyes. Yeah, I'm familiar with them, not with the vampire name. Red coral, red sword lyratels. A lot of them are very, very expensive, and they are hard to get. Like, there's only a few people that I know of in Asia that's breeding them, and most of my contacts over there do not have access to those fish. But I have, one day when I get time, I am friends with a couple breeders over there on Facebook that I'm going to try to talk them into starting to ship us a lot of those really nice, rare, high-end, man-made types of live bears, because they've got some really, really nice, stunning fish. But that's something in the future. But no, I bought them before off Aquabid, and we did not have success breeding them. I think we had them around for a few months, and they are not easy to breed. There's you think live bears are easy, but a lot of times the male with his Lyratel, his gonopodium is not accessible to breed with females. So you there's a lot to breeding some of those real high-end swordtails, you know. All right, let me see. Pepling Creek says, is that golden the original or an offspring? No, that's the original. That's the one I caught. The other ones in the tank are the offspring. So these are, this guy, that's his babies right there. And we've got about 50 of his offspring growing up in different areas. I've got some growing up in ponds. I've got some growing up in big above ground pools. So, you know, the most important thing was to get these offspring up to size so I could take that gold gene that they're carrying them and replicate it. So all right, Eduardo, good morning. Chevy Fish, Ali Sean, yes, Ali Sean's asking about my plans was to do one of these as a Tanganyikan tank, and I think I'm gonna have to have Mario build some more of them. I got, you know, I wasn't originally gonna put the gold gar in here, but then I'm like, you know what? It would be really cool to put that gold gar on display like that. So I don't know, now that the gold gar's in there, I mean, we will at some point take him out to breed, but we will probably put him right back in here and let him, you know, have this as his home, you know. So yeah, there's a good chance. So I will do a big Tanganyikan setup. It's going to be a hard decision to make. Yeah, no problem, Mike. Mike says he's going to join the group today. Ed Sart is asking, just pop it in. Are the concrete tanks outside still running? Haven't seen you filming there. New warehouse looks amazing. Yes, it is still running, and it has been great by having this warehouse because it gave me a lot more room in those greenhouses with those concrete tanks. So it gave us more room to breed, and it allowed us to, you know, keep these fish that we're selling in lighted aquariums so we could better view them and take care of them. So Bruiser, the Shelleys multifasciatus we got last fall are doing excellent. Thank you. I love the Shelleys. In fact, we've got about, I think, 4 more Shelley types coming in on that order later today. So I'm excited to get some more Shelleys. We also are getting some fry from the gold ocellatus. So we're going to have lots and lots of Shelley tanks set up in the future. So I love the Shelleys. In fact, the big Tanganyikan setup I do one day, I like to have a colony of Shelleys in that community tank. Because I think I've kept them with actually frontosas before, and they did just fine. The fronts never bothered them. They stayed around their shells. Every time a big front would come by, they'd go into their shell. In fact, I've seen a couple times them come out of their shell and chase off the frontosas, you know. So it's really, really cool, enjoying to watch those Shelleys. So Ali Sean's asking if the gold gar is male or female. It is a male, so which is nice, because if it was a female, we'd only be able to breed her one time a year, because a gar, they can only breed one time a year. But a male could breed, you know, in theory, talking to the, you know, gar expert in LSU, that in theory he could breed every day by producing sperm. But we're going to you know, not breed him every day, but we'll probably breed him once a week, depending on how many females we have ready. So yeah, I was very fortunate that we were able to get a male gold gar, you know. So this is the Florida gar, so you can see the spots coming out on the offspring. So you see, so they don't get as big as some of the other species of gar, which is kind of nice. Like, I would not expect the gold gar to get a whole lot bigger than what he is, which is about 24 inches. So N Cheese 87 says, thank you for shipping to Canada. I know it's more difficult, greatly appreciated. Amazing fish arrived. You know, we don't ship a whole lot to Canada, but you know, it's nice that, you know, we're able to do it. And the shipping is so expensive. I mean, but it's going up like crazy across the board for even the U.S. shipments. Seems like everything out there is just getting sky high in price. So, but thank you for ordering, and I appreciate the support. So, all right. So, all right. I think that's it. I think I got through most of the questions. Oh, let me try not to block the camera. So, I appreciate you guys for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the big tanks. And if you guys got any questions, don't hesitate to email us, you know, inventory questions. You can also join the Facebook group. And we also are getting a lot more shirts and hats in stock. And we got a lot more dry goods that we're going to start putting up here pretty soon. So, you know, everybody be safe. Happy Father's Day to all the dads this Sunday. I'm going to be enjoying my Sunday with my family. So, so thank you again. Everybody have a good weekend, and we will talk to you later. Thank you.